Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nugent. You know what, Ted? I'm actually disappointed when I see you on a Friday, which is our Friday free-for-all edition, and you don't have the guitar across your lap, but it's obvious you're on tour. How's the tour going,
You know, I'm the happiest guitar player in the world. My team, I got the best team out here. My crew are the consummate professionals. Their work ethic is Herculean. My band, Greg and Jason, they put their heart and soul into every lick, every song, every night. Our audiences are just out-of-body maniac, martial arts, music lovers, samurai, dancing idiots. I feel conclusively, Keith, not just with my Nightly Nuge friends out there who tune in, especially the ones that tune in just to be stupid and hateful. I especially like you because there is a division in America. We are divided good against evil. Yes. And the people that are consumed with hate, you're the bad guys. And if I inspire your hate, we will pray for you because we'd like you to get out of that lie. But bottom line is the music has a life of its own. And by the way, everybody, I signed another couple thousand Ted Nugent Detroit Muscle CDs. If you go to tednugent.com, I don't think they're sold out yet, but every night is a musical orgy, Keith. You can see I'm a little almost in the world of spent. I'm almost spent, but that's because I improvise, adapt, and overcome. And yes, this is the same shirt, and those are the same flowers because we've been hubbing out of our Florida condo. And all I can say is thank you, music lovers, Detroit Muscle Tour. What a ride. By the way, Keith, this is 66 years later. I started playing at school parties and sock hops 66 years ago. Wow. And I'm having more fun now than I ever have. I'm a lucky man. I thank God every night.
So you know what, Ted? I get all kinds of notes from my friends regularly, talking about you because they know you and I are such good friends. I had someone that has already caught one of the early dates on the tour, and in an curse-laced text said that he cannot believe that Ted Nugent he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What a travesty that Ted Nugent is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And every music lover, every fan of entertainment knows, especially when you look at some of the folks that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that Ted Nugent belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so, I actually had come across my feed this week, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so I read it. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation Director, it's such a stalwart organization, Ted, Craig Inciardi, was charged trying to sell handwritten lyrics to Eagles music. Think about this. The guy that's the director of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation is getting access to all of this stuff, probably has some influence on the names that go on the ballot. Hence, Ted Nugent's not on there. And he's still selling Don Henley written, just precious lyric documents. So what's your take on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and this shit bag that's been charged with trying to sell trade goods?
Well, isn't that fascinating that there's dishonesty and criminal behavior going on within the confines of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Good morning, America. How are you doing out there? My comment on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is I never speak from a personal anger that I'm not in it. I never reference that I should be in it, though obviously I should be in it. But that Grandmaster Flash and Madonna and ABBA are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I speak on behalf of the fan club of the Founding Fathers that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should always pay homage to and respect. And that's Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley and Little Richard and Elvis Presley and Jerry Lee Lewis and the Founding Fathers of this most exciting, throttling, defiant, irreverent, uppity, fun soundtrack in the world. And that they would put people in there that are not just not rock and roll, but they're anti-rock and roll. So that this guy is being caught with his hands in the cookie jar is no surprise, because let me go ahead and say this. Nobody can sue me, because if they try to sue me, we'll prove that my words are accurate. There's a lot of dope smoking going on at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the more dope you smoke, the dumber you get, the more irresponsible you get, and the more criminally inclined you will get. And the statistics to prove what I just said are irrefutable, unless you're so stoned that you can irrefute truth, logic, and common sense, which I get a big kick out of. So this is a spotlight on a cockroach that unfortunately represents too much of those in charge of making decisions at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And again, it's not because I'm angry that I'm not in. I'm angry that they're dishonest and that they're not paying respect to the Chuck Berrys and the Bo Diddleys and the Elvis Presleys and the Little Richards and the Jerry Lee Lewises of the world, because rock and roll means something, and ABBA and Grandmaster Flash ain't it.
You know what, Ted? Everyone knows. And I say everyone, I mean everyone on both sides of the equation, those that are liberal and despise you, and those true blue, red, white, and blue Americans that not only love your music, but love your willingness to speak on behalf of many of us that don't have a voice. That the reason that you are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is because of your politics. And it makes me think, especially when I see what's really going on at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is something that President Trump said, everything that goes woke turns to shit. Yeah. And that pretty much summarizes what we're dealing with here, in my opinion.
Yeah, let's examine the foundation of that observation. Very accurate observation. I'm not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because of my politics. My politics are the U.S. Constitution. Thank you very much.
Wow. Well, tonight you're going to be on the stage in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Those people are in for a treat. I've seen you so many times, and I know the tour is going great. I know you're going to play a mixture of your new stuff off of the Detroit Muscle album. Of course, you're going to have to handpick some of the classics, but man, you got so much. People are going to be leaving wanting more, which is exactly what an entertainer wants to do, so they can buy the Detroit Muscle album if they want to hear the rest of the tunes there, or go pick up some greatest hit stuff from the past. And all of that can be done at tednugent.com. tednugent.com. Get your tickets, get your albums, get something signed. That's how you support someone that speaks and plays and lives and dies for plain speaking, hard loving, hard playing Americans like us. Ted Nugent, thanks for all you're doing. We'll see you tomorrow for the weekend edition of The Nightly Nooch.
Thanks, Keith. God bless America.